Euree in her mid-30s just starting to homeschool. I have a few things I want to tell you about homeschooling. If you're new here, I'm Euree from the Chan 7. I'm a dentist by trade who has turned homeschool mom to 5 kids who are ages 2 to 12 years old. We have been homeschooling for 8 years, and there are quite a few things I wish I had known before we had started homeschooling. And based on all the mistakes that we have made throughout the years, you think I would be wise beyond my years. But I am always changing, growing, and learning. Homeschooling has definitely been a journey and a process of trial and errors. Neither my husband or I were homeschooled, nor did we know anyone who was really homeschooled. So we felt like we were going in blind. But even through it all, I am thankful for the mistakes that we have had to go through in order to become the homeschool family that we are today. I want to thank Shauna from Homegrown Homeschoolers and Davene from Calm in the Chaos Homeschool for hosting another fun collaboration and allowing a bunch of us to be part of it. I've been collaborating with these ladies frequently and it's been so much fun. I'll have their channels linked down below in the description box, so make sure to check those out. I'll also have the entire playlist for what I wish I had known before homeschooling linked down below in the description box, so check that out as well. I truly believe that it takes a village to homeschool, and these collaborations have done just that, where we can encourage one another and also to bounce ideas off of each other. Hi, my younger homeschooling self. Here are a few things I'd like to tell you about homeschooling. Euree, don't be afraid to fail. You tell this to the kids all the time, but do you practice what you preach? No, unfortunately, not all the time. I know failure can be very discouraging, but it's actually a part of life. And luckily, God has used, and you know this, that He can use that failure to help you grow in your character and your faith. And that goes for the children as well. It's good for them to know what it's like to fail. There are going to be those hard school days when no one seems to be paying attention and the chaos is off the walls. And it seems like no one's getting it and the kids are hating school. But that does not mean that you are a failure at homeschooling. So make sure, don't quit. I know. I feel bad because there have been days when I was so ready to give up and threatening to send the kids to school. I was done. My fear of failing and my fear of the kids failing had made me a grumpy mom. I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad, but to encourage you that it's okay to fail. You can do all that you possibly can with all your heart and still not get the kids that you were invested in and put all the time and energy in, and it's not your job to make the kids succeed in life. It will be okay. God already has a plan and a purpose for each and every kid, and so just trust Him. He will guide you. He will lead you to where you need to be. I know failure is hard, but just trust the process. Trust God. God loves them even more than you could ever love them. It can be hard, but remember to enjoy the kids and also to enjoy the process of homeschooling because it can really be fun at the same time. Don't do everything that a curriculum tells you to do. But what if the kids miss something? It's okay to skip. They're not going to remember everything anyway. Do you think by doing all the math problems, the kids are going to be better at math? Probably not. What if they understand all the concepts already? And do you think she's going to be a better speller because she did all the parts of that spelling lesson? It's okay to skip and pick and choose. You know your child best and you know where they're at in their level of understanding. So don't overkill it. So what should I do then? I would go through the math or spelling lesson, and if you have to, pick out and clearly show which sections you want the kids to finish and to complete. And make it clear that they don't have to do this part, especially if they understand the concepts. or if it's too easy for them. And like I said, you know your child the best, and it's okay not to do it all. And you certainly don't have to finish a curriculum. Pretty much no public school ever finishes an entire curriculum, especially within the school year. In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to make a difference whether the kid knows more or less just because they finished the curriculum. Are you going to let the curriculum control you, or are you going to make the curriculum work for you? You're right. I don't want the curriculum to boss me around. And I do notice that when I'm so preoccupied with getting through a lesson or a curriculum, I find myself rushing the kids. Hurry up, let's get this done. How come you haven't started it yet? I definitely catch myself nagging quite a bit, and that's not what I want the kids to remember me by. Now, I can't guarantee you that you won't fall into the trap of rushing and nagging at the kids, because you and I both know that some kids need a little nagging for them to get anything done. But you will be so much more at peace knowing and trusting God has it all under control, and hopefully be able to give the kids a little chance to make their own choices. Along the same vein, let the kids choose to explore some interests that they want to explore. Some people may call these rabbit trails. That is so true. There was that time when we were all so curious about how and if dinosaurs existed with Adam and Eve, and whether the dinosaurs were on Noah's Ark. We spent weeks learning about it, and we were so excited when we found that the Bible does truly support it. And then there was that time when we spent the entire morning learning how to play the board game Ticket to Ride. The kids had such a blast. Yes, those are where all the lasting memories come in. And it's not like the kids aren't learning. In fact, they're learning so much more. They're learning how to learn and to have fun with it. You see, homeschooling is bringing learning into your already ongoing life. And yes, life can slow you down, but one of the beauties of homeschooling is that if you don't finish within the school year, you can always pick up where you left off the next school year. There's no race, Euree. It'll be okay. And you don't have to do all the subjects every day. If you do that, you're going to burn out pretty quickly. All you really need are the basics: reading, writing, and arithmetic. And it's okay if you can't even get 5 full days of those 3 basics. Even 2 to 3 days can be sufficient. God created us to strive for and desire to learn. That doesn't mean it's okay to get lazy, but just be consistent and enjoy the process. I promise you the fruit will come. But what about history, science, art, geography, and even foreign languages? I'm not saying not to do any of those subjects, unless the kids are in kindergarten, but even in kindergarten and preschool, those subjects may already come organically. I'm here to encourage you not to put pressure on yourself to do those subjects every day. Maybe you can try looping the subjects. You'll be so much less stressed out. For example, if you're doing art and foreign languages, you can maybe cover those subjects once a week. Or you could even alternate science and history every other day. And you do what works and fits for your family in the season that you're in. You may even find yourself in a season when you're focused on a subject or two, like reading and science. Before I continue, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. That would mean so much for our family, and I would love to partner up in this homeschooling mission, which I really truly believe needs to have a community. Let's move on. Don't recreate school at home. That's funny, because when we were really new to homeschooling, I was warned not to recreate school at home, but I still tried to anyway. I felt like we needed to have the schoolroom and the desks because that's all that my husband and I knew from our school days. But funny thing is that after trying to create that school atmosphere, we still ended up on the dining table or on the floor anyway. You are definitely not alone. Many of us have had to learn the hard way. But one of the benefits of homeschooling is that we don't have to make school feel like school. If having a schoolroom works for you, great, but you don't have to make it feel like school. Remember the KISS rule you learned in dental school? KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Homeschooling really isn't supposed to be hard. It's a lot less stressful if you can adapt to doing school anywhere and to not overcomplicate things. Like I had already mentioned before, homeschooling is bringing learning into your already ongoing life. Don't compare your homeschool to be like anyone else's. It is so true that comparison is the thief of joy. It's not worth the stress, it's not good for your mental health, and it probably won't be good for your financial health either. You're right again, I have to agree. It can sometimes be quite discouraging when you see a friend post on social media their awesome organized schoolroom or the seemingly perfect picture of all the kids gathered around doing school together cheerfully, or even a YouTube video about poetry tea time and how it's set so beautifully and everything is flawless. I have to admit that I have fallen into the trap of comparison. Reality check! Social media is not reality. And we have no idea what else is going on in their lives. We don't know what it must have taken to get to that picture-perfect school. All families have trials, and that picture perfection is not really what social media makes it out to be. So don't compare with your social media friends. Don't compare with your co-op friends. Don't compare with Pinterest. And don't compare with homeschooling YouTube people like me. I surely don't have it all together. My house is a mess. I'm sleep deprived. I have my doubts and frustrations. I do gymnastics in my head trying to figure it all out. My kids aren't perfect. They fight. They have their temperaments. And I have bought more homeschool materials because of this problem with comparison and doubt. We're not perfect, but we can point to the one who is, Jesus. Sometimes mom will have to apologize, and you may have to deal with sibling conflicts, but that's where character development comes in and where relationships grow deeper. If you have to compare with no one but yourself, and whatever is working for your homeschool in whatever season you're in, and if it's working, then that is the best for your homeschool. Of course, it's still fun to get ideas and inspiration from others, but don't let it steal your joy and cause you to make hasty decisions. Along the same lines, don't compare your kids. Each child is unique in his or her learning ability or style, and not all kids are going to learn at the same speed. And that's another beauty of homeschooling. The kids don't have to keep up with the pace, the speed of the kids in the public schools. When they're being homeschooled, we can cater to the child's specific needs. Right, I thought it would be a piece of cake to teach reading and handwriting to all the kids after how naturally it came for our oldest. We didn't need a reading program and hardly any handwriting program for her, especially in the beginning. She has always been an independent learner. Learning came naturally for her. When learning turned out to be slow and frustrating for our next kid, I quickly learned and realized that homeschooling is not always a piece of cake. Who knows, that next kid may never like anything to do with writing, or at least the process will be slower. But make sure to embrace that each child is unique and there's really no need to compare. Each child has unique strengths and gifts from God that will unfold over time. And finally, don't forget your whys for homeschooling. I have a video linked down below in the description box about our family's whys, if you're interested. Remember in the end that the memories and experiences are worth all the hard days. Trust and lean on God, and He'll give you the wisdom. Don't give up, the fruit will come. Okay, thanks for all the advice. I really needed all those reminders. All right, friends, those are some of the things I would tell my younger self. To recap, don't be afraid to fail. Don't do everything a curriculum tells you to do. Don't feel like you have to finish a curriculum. Let the kids choose some areas of interest. Don't do all the subjects every day. Don't recreate school at home. Don't compare. And don't forget your why. I'd love to hear what y'all wish y'all had known before homeschooling. Drop a comment down below. I hope this interview with myself was in some way helpful or encouraging. And don't forget to check out Shauna's and Davene's channels and also the playlist about what we all wish we had known before we started homeschooling to glean wisdom from other homeschooling families. And please help our channel by liking and subscribing. And as always, thank you so much for watching and your time, and have a great day.